In the dead of night, amidst a torrential downpour, Jake stood before the eerie mansion. He was a horror novelist in search of inspiration for his new novel. The locals referred to this mansion as the Midnight Haunting Mansion, a place everyone avoided. Jake, a mix of anxiety and excitement, made the decision to push open the creaking door. The interior of the mansion lay forgotten and frozen in time. Peeling wallpaper and dusty, forgotten furniture gave the place a macabre ambience. As Jake explored the hallways, he began to hear faint whispers emanating from the shadows. Yet, he couldn't pinpoint their source. Armed with a flashlight, he mustered his courage and pressed on into the unknown. Inside the abandoned mansion, Jake was surrounded by an eerie silence broken only by the relentless patter of rain against the windows. Dusty and forsaken, the mansion's interior seemed frozen in time. As he ventured further into the gloomy corridor, Jake began to hear faint whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The whispers were indistinct, like the soft sighs of a long-forgotten presence, and they sent shivers down his spine. Jake clutched his flashlight tightly, its beam cutting through the oppressive darkness. Each step echoed through the empty halls, amplifying the strange sounds that filled the air. He couldn't pinpoint the source of these unsettling murmurs. They flitted around him, playing tricks on his senses. The atmosphere grew more suffocating with every passing moment. Despite the growing unease, curiosity drove Jake forward into the mansion's depths, determined to unravel the secrets it held within. As Jake delved deeper into his investigation, he began to experience terrifying hallucinations during his restless nights. In his dreams, he would encounter eerie apparitions of the deceased, their haunting screams and cries filling the midnight silence. Disturbingly, he began to witness strange wrinkles forming on the mansion's walls, seemingly alluding to something sinister lurking within. Each night, the visions intensified, blurring the line between reality and his tortured nightmares. He would awaken in cold sweats, haunted by the phantom images of those long departed. These specters seemed desperate to convey an unspeakable truth, a dark secret buried within the mansion's shadowy history. Determined to uncover the source of these relentless apparitions, Jake delved deeper into the mansion's records and archives. Old diaries and letters revealed tales of a family driven to madness by malevolent forces. They had succumbed to the mansion's sinister influence, and their horrific acts of violence had only fueled the malevolence that dwelled within. The more Jake learned, the more he realized that he was on the brink of something truly sinister. The mansion held secrets darker than he could have ever imagined, and its haunting history was intertwined with his own fate in ways he couldn't yet comprehend. As he continued to explore, he couldn't shake the feeling that the malevolent presence within the mansion was growing stronger, as if it sought to consume him whole. As Jake delved deeper into his investigation, he stumbled upon astonishing revelations about the mansion's grim history. This house had once been the scene of a mysterious disappearance that had gripped the town. Rumors had spread that the mansion was cursed, and it seemed that the truth was far more unsettling. Through old newspaper clippings and dusty documents, Jake learned that a family had once lived here, only to vanish without a trace. The circumstances were chilling, with reports of strange occurrences and sinister sounds emanating from within the mansion during their final days. It was said that the family had succumbed to an evil force that had driven them to madness. The more Jake uncovered, the clearer it became that malevolent entities were tied to this place. The mansion had a history steeped in darkness, and it was as if the very walls held the secrets of its sinister past. Determined to expose the truth, Jake continued his relentless pursuit of the mansion's dark and terrifying mysteries. As Jake delved deeper into the abandoned mansion, he made a chilling discovery in the old library. The family that once resided here had fallen prey to a malevolent spirit, descending into madness. Isolated within the mansion's walls, they had turned on each other in horrifying acts of violence, unwittingly attracting dark forces and giving rise to a sinister curse. In the dimly lit room, the shelves were lined with ancient tomes containing forbidden knowledge. The family's journals detailed their descent into madness, their encounters with the vengeful entity, and their futile attempts to break free from its malefic grip. Jake couldn't help but feel the oppressive presence lurking in the shadows as he read about their torment. He knew he had to uncover the truth hidden within these pages to confront the malevolent spirit that had plagued the mansion for generations. Each journal entry spoke of increasing despair and hopelessness, painting a grim picture of a family torn apart by an evil force beyond their comprehension. With trembling hands, Jake turned the pages, determined to piece together the puzzle and find a way to confront the malevolent presence that still haunted the mansion's darkest corners. The malevolent presence within the mansion relentlessly targeted Jake. Night after night, he endured paranormal disturbances and faced spiritual assaults. However, he persevered, determined to find a way to quell the malevolent entity. He delved into ancient incantations and summoning rituals, seeking to confront the mansion's dark spiritual energies. In the darkest recesses of the mansion, within a room shrouded in darkness, Jake steeled himself for the final confrontation. With unwavering resolve, he recited potent incantations, summoning the malevolent spirit. It took on a terrifying form and lunged at Jake, but his unwavering conviction and bravery proved to be his weapons. Chapter 6 witnessed a harrowing battle between Jake and the malevolent entity, an otherworldly clash of wills. Jake's determination and newfound knowledge were pitted against the entity's malevolence and power. As the battle raged on, the very foundation of the mansion quaked, echoing the intensity of their struggle. Ultimately, Jake's indomitable spirit prevailed. With one final incantation, he banished the malevolent spirit from the mansion. The once tormented house fell silent, and the haunting phenomena ceased. The curse that had plagued the mansion for generations was lifted, thanks to Jake's courage and determination. In the deepest, darkest room of the mansion, Jake steeled himself for the ultimate showdown with the malevolent spirit. With ancient incantations learned and summoning rituals mastered, he was determined to face the mansion's spiritual malevolence head-on. In the room shrouded in darkness, Jake began chanting the powerful incantations he had painstakingly studied. The malevolent spirit took a horrifying form, a grotesque manifestation of the mansion's malevolence, and it lunged at him with ferocious intensity. It clawed at him with spectral hands, attempting to break his resolve. But Jake's determination was unshakable. With every incantation, he could feel the spiritual energy in the room shifting, his words resonating with a power greater than the malevolent force. Beads of sweat formed on his forehead as he continued the ritual, undeterred by the malevolent spirit's assaults. In a final surge of energy, Jake unleashed the most potent incantation he had learned. A blinding light engulfed the room, forcing the malevolent spirit to recoil in agony. With a deafening roar, the spirit dissipated into nothingness, vanquished by Jake's unwavering resolve and newfound knowledge. Exhausted but victorious, Jake had broken the curse that had plagued the mansion for generations. As the room returned to darkness, he knew that the nightmare was finally over. In the deepest chamber of the mansion, cloaked in darkness, Jake steeled himself for the final confrontation with the malevolent spirit. He chanted ancient incantations with unwavering resolve, summoning the evil entity forth. The malevolent force assumed a grotesque form and lunged at Jake, but it was Jake's unwavering faith and courage that would secure the victory. With a blinding burst of supernatural energy, the confrontation reached its climax. The room shook, and eerie howls filled the air as the two forces clashed. Jake's determination and newfound knowledge of the occult had tipped the balance in his favor. In a brilliant flash of light, the malevolent spirit was vanquished, its malevolence dissipating like a mist. The mansion quivered one last time before falling into a profound silence. The curse that had plagued the mansion for generations was finally broken. Jake, bruised and battered but triumphant, made his way out of the mansion. As he walked away from the accursed place, he knew that he had not only saved himself, but also released the souls trapped within. The mansion, once a den of horrors, was now just a silent, aging structure. Jake's heart still bore the scars of the harrowing ordeal, but he left the haunting at midnight behind, a chapter in his life that would forever haunt his dreams. Jake's horror novel became a bestseller, and he continued to share the story inspired by his experiences in the mansion. However, he never revealed the truth about the mansion. While the mansion might be visited by someone else in the future, its curse had come to an end. The eerie occurrences that once plagued it were now just tales of the past. As the years passed, Jake's fame as a horror writer grew, and he penned many more spine-chilling tales. Yet, deep within him, the memories of the mansion's terror remained etched in his soul. He knew that some mysteries were best left untouched, and the secrets of the Midnight Haunting Mansion were among them. The mansion stood in silence, its dark history concealed behind its decaying walls. It had served its purpose as a wellspring of inspiration for Jake's chilling narratives. The horrors within those haunted halls were now confined to the pages of his books, forever entwined with the enigmatic allure of the Midnight Haunting Mansion.